Damn, dude!
Cheese and taco
Oh, okay.
and pizza.
Yeah, okay. That's sick, dude.
What up, everybody?
Damn, dude.
What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast, where we talk about cheese and taco.
And taco and taco and taco. Cheese and taco
Oh, okay.
and pizza and taco.
All right. Yo, we just had to start off with that because that was just from a recording I took of my kiddo earlier this week, and I could not stop fucking listening to that or watching it. It's so cute and so funny. Cheese and taco and pizza. Yo, welcome to the show, you guys. This is the Damn Dude podcast, where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Some shit to help really blow our minds. This show simply exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different contexts and perspectives that we have in life, because I truly believe that the more access we have to different contexts and perspectives, the easier and doper life is to navigate and get through. Ya dig? This is season 2, episode 105. We will be on season 3 once January 25th hits. That will be our anniversary, our, I guess, 3-year anniversary. Is that right? 1, 2. Yeah, 3-year anniversary. Holy shit, dude. That we've been doing this, and the show just keeps growing and growing, and like, it's pretty fucking organic. I don't advertise. I don't do nothing. I fucking haven't even touched the Instagram page in a fucking hot minute. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It'll all come full 360. I got a plan, so you guys don't trip. But the thing is, I think something that's important is like letting the message spread purely and organically right now, where it's like, yo, you got to listen to this. Yo, you got to listen to this. And then once we can kind of spread that word of mouth, we've got a solid base, and we've got our group, we've got our team, we've got our damn duders, we got our DDP army, family, mob, clique, whatever you want to call it, right? But not in any sort of criminal way, just to clarify. Anyways, that's what's going on. And truly, like, dude, if you think about it, the more perspective and context you can bring to any sort of situation, the better and easier it's going to be. So if you guys listen to the last episode, you can see I was clearly having a tantrum. Like, I was fucking going through it. Now, did I act irrationally or whatever? No. But I was definitely speaking from a place of weakness, or lack of strength, I should say, confusion, and sorting through it. So one thing I want to make clear is that recording that I did for the last episode, that's not how I think or view life. That's what I was feeling in the moment. So I want to set the record straight, make it clear. Look, those are not my always carried views. That was how I felt in the moment. And like I've said before, men, there's a big difference between expressing how you feel about something and the truth about something. It's very man-like to be like, oh, this is the truth of it, rather than, oh, this is how I feel about it. And I know for myself as a man and observing other men and the conversations we have, that a lot of dudes clearly do not know the difference. So I was practicing tapping into that, like, yo, this is how I feel about this. This is what's going on. This isn't my forever perspective. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, something did snap for me. I don't know what. Just this level of care. I was like, I don't fucking care, is kind of what entered my life. And I'm not going to defend it or anything. No. This podcast in a big part personally is my journal. And it's like, if you go and you express yourself and you write a bunch of crazy shit in your journal, you don't go back and be like, oh, I'm all fucked up. You're like, no, that's what I was feeling that day, so I wrote that down. Cool. move forward. Next thing. So that's what that was. Because I had some family reach out and, you know, shout out to my mom and my cousin Connie. I don't know if my cousin listened to the show or just talking to my mom, but like there was like they had reached out and I was like, wow, like, thank you, you know. But the concern was like, dude, like, this is what you're taking on. Like, don't go believing this now. You know, I'm like, no. This isn't my beliefs. This is just how I feel about this situation at hand. I'm not going to not be okay. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So it's like, there's definitely a difference in a level of responsibility that we can take on for ourselves to where it's like, yo, there's a clear difference between this, how I feel in this moment versus this is how the fuck I feel and think and view life about everything forever. No. It's like if I'm pissed presently. I'm not going to carry that forward. I'm not mad about the same things. So yes, I was being threatened with things that were completely unfair and completely not cool. Ultimately just unfair, right? Excuse me. So, just shout out to my mom, my cousin, for being there and helping me out and expressing love, you know. I definitely appreciate that. And I think it's a thing of power to document all of our shittiness. Because I can look back and it's like, I probably won't ever listen to that episode I recorded yesterday. And that's not true. I don't want to listen to the episode I recorded yesterday. I'll say that. Or not yesterday, but the last one. And I say that because I know I'm at a low point. But at the same time, I know that vulnerability and that realness will resonate and do something for people. And I know just me doing that is a form of a power move in some way, shape, or form. Because when anybody gets to view any success that I've created in my life, we can look back and be like, damn, that was a very real moment. This is what he was going through too. And I can look back at that myself, right? And be like, dude, I was fucking going through it. Like, I can't believe that was real life at that point in time. You know? Like, imagine if you had your life documented. And that's what's so dope and powerful about creating a podcast or a journal or a show or you know, some kind of like documentation. Like, we have the internet, we have phones with us all the time. We can easily document. And I realized I should do more of that. At the same time, it's like I got this podcast and I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And I probably am doing it at a higher level than the average person who just started a podcast. Because a lot of those podcasts aren't even here anymore. You know, they just exist. And then they got to maybe 2-3 episodes or never even officially launched the pilot episode or whatever, you know? So I'm proud of that, you know? We've done 205 episodes. It's not easy to do twice a week and put about, you know, an hour worth of recording, then another hour of edit, upload, typing, you know, and then posting it onto on Instagram and Facebook and whatever. And it's like, dude, it's a lot of work and I don't get paid anything. All I do is get a couple compliments here and there, but the compliments are not necessarily compliments for me. They're compliments for the work and the wisdom and context that's been shared.
Damn, dude.
So it's like anything that I say is not necessarily, I mean, it is original because I'm making up everything I'm saying. I'm not taking hot topics or ideas or somebody else's words or whatever. It's like I'm taking my own and I'm using my own, I should say. And at the same time, all the words I use, somebody else has already used. It's just me putting them into the order that I perceive them, interpret them, and then with my like energy, passion, lack energy, however you view me coming off or however I come through your speakers, that's how you relate to me and that's how you feel about it. So that's the thing is there's more, even though all the words in the English language have already been said, we can re-say them continuously in new ways and from a new context and a new perspective in order to know more about the shit that already exists in life. And the more we can get to know different words and different contexts and perspectives, then the smarter and wiser we are, right? Because then it's like, oh, pull this one out. Boom. It's like fucking playing like crazy eights or something, and you've been saving the 8, you know, and you're like, I drew a bunch so I could fucking draw. Or that's not a good example. More like playing Killer. For those of you that don't know Killer, I feel sorry for you. That is probably the sickest card game ever. And if you don't know what that is, then maybe you know what Posoy Dos is. It's basically like the Filipino version of Killer. There's a couple rules that are just slightly different. It's basically the same game. But it's kind of like if you have no idea what it is, it's kind of like a crazier version of playing Crazy Eights. Because you can drop bombs and this and that, and you have more options. So it's kind of harder to learn, but it's so fucking fun once you start going. Anyway, why am I talking about that? Oh, got it. Where it's like, okay, we have different contexts and perspectives. And when you play Killer, you look at all your cards, and there's so many ways you can play all your hands. You can drop a bomb consisting of, like consecutive numbers. You can drop doubles as a bomb. You can drop just doubles. You can drop a single. You can beat the card by one number. You can match the suit. No, you can't match the suit. But like you could do all these things, right? And there's a million ways to think about playing your cards. So sometimes you'll skip your turn on purpose in order to wait for that person to drop a certain amount of things, and then you bam, and you fucking pounce them, and you blow their shit up with all your bombs and shit, right? So that's the thing, is like, the more we can have an outside context or perspective, you can wait to drop your bomb. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
And that's the thing, is like, dude, when we work through ideas and we work through context and perspectives and problems and issues and what's missing and all of that stuff in life, you can gather information and then drop your bomb when necessary. So that's what I feel like this podcast is like, this is me dropping my bomb of my cards every week. And whether they win or not, I still tried and I still did it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that was kind of a long explanation to explain something very simple. But that's okay, because pancakes, syrup, and butter. Man, the way I smoke weed is like death of a genius. Turn around. I always do that. I need to chill. Anyway, having a tantrum responsibly was a big part of what that was. I didn't freak out. I didn't need to go overcompensate. I didn't need to go fucking lift a bunch of weights in order to be like, rah, 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 which you should go do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a very good thing. But like the needs, what I mean by that is like the need to like run away or compensate or mask what I'm feeling. I didn't need to go like surf my problems away or ride my motorcycle, ride the problems away, or like all of that is just running. Having hobbies is great. And we should all actively participate in our hobbies to the fullest degree as often as we can, because it's just healthy. Now, at the same time, to use those things as an escape is not a power move. That's not real man shit. Or real woman shit, because you could do this either way. But to like go and compensate, and it's like, I don't know. And it's kind of, I guess guys do this too now, but in the past, it was kind of more of like a female thing. I didn't ever put this together, but it was like, this is just an observation. This is not absolutely true or false. It's just situational, right? Or it's just an observation. But in the past, it's like I would notice if like female friends or ex-girlfriends or whatever, if they were feeling shitty, they would go and like watch a series. Or like go watch like a bunch of movies in a row. Or like something like that, just to kind of distract and take your mind off things. Like the classic, like I'm going to eat a tub of ice cream and watch a sad movie. Like that sort of thing, right? But now like dudes do this and women do this. It's so, let me say this. People have now kind of evolved beyond that to where now it's normal to watch a whole bunch of series of shows and shit in a row and eat some crazy food. And it's like, that was reserved for something intense and crazy and painful and all of that, right? Now, that's not a healthy way to cope. It never has been, but it's become something that kind of got popularized in movies and in, I was going to say pop culture, but I realized I don't actually know what that means. I guess that's popular culture is what that means. Like celebrity type shit, I think is what that is. I've never used that word, I don't think. Anyway, we see that, and then it's like we start becoming what's modeled on TV for us. And then you look at shows like, what's that? Oh, the show's so fucking stupid. But like Big Bang Theory or like Friends or like any of those kinds of shows, like it just shows these pussy ass dudes like the like completely like emasculated, like humiliated chump ass dudes. Now, don't get it twisted. Like, this is where we got it fucked up. Where it's like, yo, we need to be in touch with our feelings, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, cool. There's a certain level that, yes, absolutely. Because there's just a certain amount of reality that exists within feeling certain ways or thinking certain things and all of that. There's lessons to be learned. But to go and just be completely soy boy, like complete bitch tits, soft hands, like you don't know how to fucking work a wrench, like all this shit, like stuff like that, dude, like it's not cool. And it's ridiculous. So this is kind of like, I feel like there's a responsibility, and as Andrew Tate would say, a duty, a duty if you're 30 years old. Yo, anytime I hear Andrew Tate say any number that has to do with 30, I fucking die laughing. It's so 30. I've never heard anybody say that number like 37. No, anyway, dude, yo, Andrew Tate is a fucking G, dude. That fool spits fucking facts. If you can't discern between when he's talking shit versus when he's being real, I can see why people don't like him. But like, do people really not have that much discernment of like what's sarcastic or what's a joke or what's provocative on purpose? It's like, if I all of a sudden am like, look, bitches ain't shit, hoes ain't shit, fuck bitches, get money. And then you just take that clip and you're like, oh, that's what Calvin believes. Like, no. I'm just talking shit. Like, that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not real. Like, so I feel like people just kind of like, they don't know how to interpret shit, which is weird. I'm like, that's clearly a joke. And that's clearly him being a provocateur or provocateur. I don't know the right word to say it. Being provocative, talking shit. And it's like, you fell for that? Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, anyone thinks who needs to be canceled, he needs to be canceled is actually stupid. Like, you literally don't know how to interpret or how you, like, if that's your level of discernment, you're the same person to go get pickpocketed in the streets. You're the same person to get your fucking, you're the same person who leaves your purse on your dashboard and goes into the store. You're the same person who leaves your cell phone right on the seat in a sketchy neighborhood and goes into the store. You're the same person who leaves all their, who counts cash out in public. Like, you're probably the same person who fucking, thinks that new movies are like the meaning of life or like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's certain attributes to people that like, if you do this, then you probably do all these other things too. It's trippy, right? But, I guess my point is, dude, humans, we all have some sort of tantrum at some way, at some point, in some version, in some shape, in some fashion. We all do. Because having a tantrum just means you get upset, right? But it's like, how are you going to handle it and process that and move forward is what really determines and dictates if you're having a tantrum or not, or if somebody calls your anger a tantrum or not. Like, I'm not the type to have tantrums. Like, the last couple days I had been like having a shitty attitude, but I still held a level of responsibility for myself and the people around me, even though I was feeling like shit and I was upset and I had people saying fucked up things to me. And like, it really sucks when people think they're helping and they're actually not, and they're just saying fucked up things. And then they take it as like, well, see, this is part of your problem. It's like, no, being a fucking asshole is part of the problem was the problem. Now you're being a dick, and that's adding to this whole thing. And then it just compounds and it doesn't feel good. So how are we going to have a tantrum responsibly? More so men. We don't need to go fucking binge watch 1,000 TV shows and an entire series of whatever. Like, you're just rotting your brain and you're not going to be any better by the end of it. I'm guilty of doing this in the past. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm like, okay, I need to go for a fucking walk. I need to go put myself in the mountains right now. I need to go outside and get some nature. I need to go, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff that's actually tangible and really works. Because if we're just going to be mad and have no reason for it or end result, then it's pointless. It's like, just go to the gym and leave everybody else out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be, blah, 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 blah. No, that's being irresponsible and that's having a tantrum. So, if you guys listened to that last episode, that was me having a tantrum to my fullest degree. I was being responsible at the same time. So, it's like, this is why I think it's important to document all these things. If you feel like shit, write it down, get it recorded, do something that documents it, because the more that we do that, the better we feel. And it's like the more real life proof and evidence we have of how we were handling things. So that's why I'm like scared to go back and listen to an episode, because I'm like, I don't want to hear myself sound like this or speak like this. And at the same time, it's very real. So watch as I fucking record my tantrum publicly on purpose. That's a power move. Call me what you want, say what you want, judge what you want. But what happens when you feel like shit? You have these feelings too. It may not be for a couple years. It may not be till 30 years. 30 years. But what I'm saying is like, dude, we're all going to go through this at some point in time. And that's something that I realize is like, through all this shit, like a lot of times, often in my life, like shitty stuff happens all at one time in one massive crazy ball of fuckery is how things have played out in my life. And I get, because that's also the way I interpret things, and kind of like I need lessons. I would typically need lessons to be bigger and far more impactful in order for me to get it at all. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I can take these lessons in smaller packages and doses. I don't need to have the whole fucking tsunami dumped on my head. Like, I can just have a couple, drops on me at a time rather than fucking just getting washed out entirely. Damn it, my coffee was just like 2 seconds too cold there. That was, ugh. So, being that we're all going to get upset and we're going to all have tantrums at some point in time, how are you going to deal with it? What are you going to do? And that's the thing, is if you document it, you don't have to show anybody. It could be your journal, talking to the voice memo thing on your phone, recording a video of yourself, just expressing your thoughts. And when you go back and you watch them and you listen to them, it's pretty fucking phenomenal, dude. Like, I remember one time I was in Hawaii, and it was New Year's. Holy shit. I remember this like it was fucking yesterday, dude. It was weird. I don't know why. I was just like, I want to go outside. It's like it was like I was staying at my friend's house at the time. Adam and Abby, shout out to them. I don't think this is in the show, but shout out to you guys. And we were in Pearl City, and in Hawaii so basically, if for those of you guys that don't know this, or you've never lived there or like stayed during this time, starting at Christmas all the way until like a couple days after New Year's, fireworks go off 24/7. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. Like, it's for reals. Like, right now, there's fireworks every night. And sometimes all day, but especially during New Year's, there's like 5 days where it's all day and all night. You're like, dude, how do you have this many fireworks? First of all, like, these people have to be making them. And secondly, like, having fireworks go off all during the day is a fucking trip because it's just like, and the sky is smoky everywhere. Like you can just smell it forever, dude. It's the craziest thing. But I remember that was happening. Oops, I tried to catch it. Fuck. That was happening and I was like, holy fuck. And I was just sitting at this park on top of a hill. And like you literally just, it's like Thailand I've seen videos or Singapore or something. You know, it's like you're just looking in a full 360 view and there's fireworks completely in every direction. And I just remember they're just blown away, dude. And this little park was kind of haunted feeling. And I was just sitting there and I went on Facebook Live or something and I just recorded a whole thing. And it was like one of the most vulnerable I'd ever been on camera. And like a couple people watched it, but the people who watched it were like, holy fuck, dude. Like, wow, thank you for sharing this. And I didn't share anything like deep or impactful. It was just me sharing real shit. And then I think what happens is like, after a certain point, when people get used to you sharing certain amount of openness and realness in your life, it's not like impressive or cool to them anymore. It's expected of you now. And that's where I catch myself is like, I'm kind of expected to keep talking and sharing because of how I've laid things out already. You know, and then it's almost like, well, if I stop sharing and talking, then I'm not living and embodying all the shit I had already fucking previously talked about. So I gotta keep fucking going. And that's what's crazy about like when you declare something, when you declare to be an open person and learn and share and all this, like life is going to respond and it's going to hold you to a certain level of responsibility for that. So even when I have a full fucking tantrum or meltdown, I still have to have this shit recorded because that's a level of responsibility and that's my duty to Bugattis. No, I'm just kidding. That's my duty to keep sharing and do this and share these contexts and perspectives for other people who might be going through it and you've never seen or heard somebody share their shit openly. So that's why I do this. This show has helped save some people's lives in different regards, and it's helped change people's realities in ways that are absolutely tangible and linked to the sharing of the show or the message that's shared in the show. So it's pretty crazy. So I would just say, I encourage everybody to document, because this is your legacy. You don't think your great grandkids want to hear you speak or hear what you had to say? You know what I'm saying? You don't think the future generation like wants to hear what you have to say? All you're going to leave them is pictures and memes that you've shared on your on the internet? That's weak, dude. Like, do more. You know what I'm saying? Document more. This shit is how you build a legacy, and that's how that's going to happen, and how it's going to snowball and just keep creating. So the more we share, the more we understand we're all the fucking same. Nobody's problems are that fucking special, and problems are problems. Like, that's just part of being a human being. But now how can we apply different context and logic and perspective and spirituality into all these things that seem so dense and have no fucking answer? You dig?
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right bicycle.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? We bicycle.
Damn, dude.
Welcome, bike, to the show. So, I don't know how to say. This is interesting. I don't know how to say what I'm about to say in words yet. You know how that is? It's like, and this is one thing. It's like there's different types of learning and relationships and intelligence, right? So one of my favorite ways of learning is transformational learning. And that's when you're in the context and space of you understand there's things that you know that you know. You know, that's an old classic example. And you can go to Landmark and this is fucking day one. But like, there's things that you know that you know. So let's say there's a whole pie of life, right? And we're just going to like what is it, a pie? What do they call that diagram? Pie diagram? Not a Venn diagram. See, I don't know. You got a circle and we're going to each slice of pie represents something in life, right? So one slice of this pie represents what we know that we know. I know how to put on a shirt. I know how to speak English. I know how to speak Chinese. I know how to speak a little bit of Spanish. I know how to ride a motorcycle. I know how to drive stick shift. I know how to record a podcast. I know how to record a video on my phone. I know how to, cook food. I know how to do laundry. And then there's things that I know that I don't know, which would be, and that's another slice of pie in life. So let's say out of this whole pie of 100%, 20% of the things, one slice is 20% of things I know that I know. Another slice of the pie is 20% of maybe 25 or 30% of things that I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know how to speak Japanese. I know that I don't know how to build a Ferris wheel. I know that I don't know how to, run a fucking pit crew. I know I don't know how to construct, what the fuck? I know that I don't know how to conduct an orchestra. I know that I don't know how to play drums. I know that I don't know how to, be a pastor. Like, these are things that I know that I don't know. And then there's the whole rest of the pie. So let's say let's just call both of those slices 40%. So that leaves us with 60% of the rest of the pie. If 20% is what we know that we know, and another 20% is what we know that we don't know, well, what's the rest of the 60% of the pie? So if these two 40% is what we know that we don't know, and what we know that we know and what we know that we don't know, what is the rest of that pie? So if we only have access to 40%, what is the rest of the information? What is the rest of it? Well, the rest of it, the rest of the 60% of that pie that represents our life and our knowledge and our thinking is things that we don't know that we don't know.
Damn, dude.
So what are things that you don't know that you don't know? You don't know. You can't say it because you don't know that you don't know it. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I didn't know that I didn't know that the words I would use to speak did not make any sense in the past. That was something I didn't know that I didn't know. And then until I got put in front of a group of people and said, explain your project. And me explaining to 5 people, every person hears something dramatically different. I'm like, is it that these 5 people don't know how to listen when they're all actively staring at me, listening to me speak? Or is it that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Well, when you got 5 people intently listening to you on purpose, it's not them. You know what I'm saying? And then you go back and I'm explaining my project I'm doing and creating on 3 different times in front of these people. Finally, they start getting what I'm saying by the 3rd time. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize you were talking about writing a book. Like, I thought you were talking about making a blog and this and that. I'm like, wait, what? How did you get that? And I realized when you leave out certain details and certain explanations, people don't know what the fuck you're talking about because they're left to guess and fill in the blanks themselves. So when we don't know that our words are just fucking wacky and random, and we realize it's not even everybody else is listening, it's more so the way that we speak doesn't match with anybody's listening. Therefore, we are speaking nonsense and in turn training other people to listen to us in a particular type of way, to listen to us in a way where it's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or oh, such and such just talks in circles, or such and such is just gossipy. And then now once we've trained everybody else's listening to be a certain type of way, we get upset that we get treated a certain type of way. So this is where it's hard when so this type of learning I'm talking about is transformational learning. Where it's where you step into the world and the realm of which you don't know that you don't know, and you kind of tune your brain to be open to continuous things of what you didn't know that you didn't know. So that's what I'm looking for. Is I didn't know that I didn't know that my last episode, it came off as I was just completely having a tantrum and being irresponsible and being like, oh, this is how it is. I'm being a victim, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know that I didn't know that I was acting that way in that. You know what I'm saying? For me, I felt like I was being responsible. Now, there's little truths to all of this, but the thing is, there's a big piece of what I didn't know that I didn't know in the existence of what I created.
Damn, dude.
So if you're still following this, you're either like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Or you're completely tripped the fuck out. Or you're like, damn, I needed that reminder. So I don't even know what the relevance of that is. But anyway, that's the type of learning and the type of place I like to be in. And I think that's why the show exists. So now when my great grandkids are in existence, they can now listen to the show and learn what they didn't know that they didn't know.
Damn, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like now, because of who I am, the spirit that exists in me, they now understand, oh, this is why I have the urge to fucking do this to an extreme or do that. Or like, you know, it's like for me, like going into deep in the spiritual world and past lives and stuff, I learned that this might sound crazy to you, but I don't give a fuck because it's real as fuck, which is like, I learned that in my family lineage and in past lives to some capacity, but more so my family lineage and generational shit, and it could be my own, I don't know, whatever. The reason I have the urge and the need to surf and explore the desert and work in the water is all completely related. It has to do with my family lineage. So I'm half Chinese and half Norwegian, and both sides of my family were some like hop on a boat and explore ass motherfuckers. So down my Chinese side, we're like South Side Chinese people, where Toisan's at. And that's the type of Chinese I am, is we speak Toisan va. The type of Chinese I am, it's Toisan. So it's like there's different kinds where it's like, oh, that's a Texan. Like if you were to be in America, you'd be like, or the United States, you'd be like, oh, that person's a Texan. Oh, that person's a New Yorker. Like we would be Toisan. We're like South. It's kind of like farmer type people. But the type of Chinese that I am, it's like we kind of like came from like Mongolians, I think is where our lineage kind of comes from. So my family, like all the Chinese side, we're like big people. Like a lot of times when you think of Chinese people, you think of like small, skinny, dorky. No, it's like most of my Chinese family were like big ass people. Like most of us aren't under, like most of us are over 5'10" at least. Like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. Like my dad, a lot of my uncles are all like 6 feet. I'm about 6 feet also. My brother probably the same. So it's like we're big people. And then also it's like my family doesn't have like very squinty eyes or chinky eyes. Like we're all like round-eyed people, bigger, like not typical Chinese, right? So that's kind of a whole extra explanation we didn't really need. But anyway, I'm realizing like, dude, okay, so there's unfulfilled urges within my family lineage. So these people would go and set out on boats and be like Chinese pirates fucking exploring and going wherever. You know, that's how my family got to America on the Chinese side, was they hopped on a boat during war and they came here. So then on my Norwegian side, there's some Viking ass motherfuckers. And that was how we got here also into the United States on that side, which was via boat. Now, Norwegians are some fucking set out on a boat ass motherfuckers, and so were original Chinese people. So it's like in my family lineage, there's all this urge and desire that I live out, I guess, to get to the edge, get to the end of the ocean, to get to the edge of the land where the fucking surf meets the turf. Down at old damn mar. But no, really, like that urge and the urge and desire to get to the end, to play in the wave that reaches the fucking land. Like, that's the final destination. And for me, I need to go fulfill on that by going and playing and indulging in that and enjoying that. So great grandkids, whenever you guys hear this, if you have some crazy urge to do this or that, maybe you got the spirit of me or our ancestors. And this is the thing is like, our family, we might be white, we might be black, we might be fucking Chinese, we might be Mexican, we might be fucking Iranian. We could be anything by the time you guys are born. Like, our ethnicity of our family can completely change by the time you guys, my younger generation, hears this. You know what I'm saying? That's what's trippy, is like, so you don't know. It's crazy because so many ethnicities are merged and mixed and this and that. And it's like, there's so much uncertainty, but it's like, yo, this is documented now so you guys can understand this and have something to go off of moving forward. I could just be wrong entirely, but this is my findings and my gathering. And like, I'm somebody who disconnects from technology, and I'll go and indulge in nature. And it's like, I'm not afraid to be with no phone. I'm not afraid to be with no internet. I'm not afraid to like explore and create and do new shit. You know what I'm saying? So if that lives in you, then here's probably part of why. You see what I'm saying? So that all exists inside of what we don't know that we don't know. And that's transformational learning, because now I can transform my complete understandings. So and if you're wondering, well, how does exploring the ocean, what does that have to do with the desert? Well, in Southern California, when we go out to the desert out here, you can see there's proof everywhere, and you can just look this up in general. Like, let's say you look at Ocotillo Wells. Ocotillo Wells has a place called Shell Reef, and there's other places too. You can look at the canyons, you go to fucking Fish Creek, you go through all these different places, the slot canyons, all of it. And there was very clearly evidence of water and this being the ocean back in the day. And there's actual like seashells and fossils and fish and all this shit that's like lined in all the mountains and stuff. So the desert was the bottom of the ocean thousands and thousands of years ago. We can go out there right now and I can show you where it's at. You know, so it's like, that was the ocean. And like, what's one of the greatest mysteries of the world ever of all time? Exploring the bottom of the ocean. The depths of the ocean are unknown. We don't even know. In 2022, going into 2023 real soon here, we do not know what's at the bottoms of the oceans. We do not know how deep the oceans go, and we've never been there. So that's why it's so fascinating to me to be like, to play where the energy of the ocean meets the sand, to play at the final destination, to take that in and be a participant of the final destination. Like, that's the dream, dude, for your family to come and fucking get to the land. Like, yo, so also, that's why I love the desert. I'm floating and I'm traveling in hyperspeed around the bottom of the ocean. And for myself, I relate to myself as a warrior of love. That's what I do. I fight for love, and I fight for what's right, and I fight for us to live lives that we love, and to live lives that we enjoy and appreciate and can contextualize in a positive and healthy way. So, being that I am a fucking warrior, I need my horse. That sounds crazy, but it's very real and deep for me, which is I need my fucking horse, which is my motorcycle, and I need to ride. You'll never stop me from riding. Life tried, the doctor tried, everybody's tried to ban me and stop me from riding motorcycles. I've broken over 64 bones. I've broken my skull, neck, and back riding motorcycles. I've fucking broken a gang of ankles, wrists, fingers, all sorts of shit from riding motorcycles. And I will never stop. I will never stop. I will always have a motorcycle, and I will always ride wheelies, and I will always do the damn thing. Always. So it's like, I'm a rider. I need to ride my horse. That's my modern day steed. And that's how I travel the land the quickest. And that's how I explore the bottom of the ocean. And I also like to indulge in playing the waves up top. So if this means something to you and my own personal family and lineage later down the line, you're welcome. Do the same. Start your own show, because the younger you can start, the more positive you are. Like right now, we call these shows podcasts. I don't know where the fuck the word came from. I don't like the word, but that's just what this is. Just the same way we had the TV, we had the radio, we have the fucking news, we have whatever. There's different types of information put out there, and this is called a podcast. I don't know what you guys call it later. That's why I just say, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, let's get into a whole nother thing. So I would just encourage anybody who hears this, document, because you're going to wish you did this. You know what I'm saying? I look back and I remember if you go and you look up Joe Rogan's first podcast he ever did, it's not even a podcast. It's just, he's literally on the computer all confused going, wait, what the fuck is this? Wait, is it on? Wait, hold on. And then he accidentally turns on this filter where like hearts just keep blowing across the screen and he like doesn't know how to shut it off. It's fucking hilarious, dude. But if we were to take that and be like, yo, look at this guy's show, you're gonna be like, this sucks. Because he's not saying anything cool on it that I can remember. I remember how like loosey-goosey and how much he didn't know what he was doing. And I found that fascinating. Because, dude, it's like when you just see somebody's end result and you see them polished and paid, you're like, why not me? It's like, well, because you didn't do the work to start fucking documenting. And it's like, I don't know what the show can or will turn into. There's a very good chance this show could blow the fuck up and become a very, very big deal. Because this really is some of the realest shit on the entire fucking internet. And anybody who listens to this will fully agree. There's hardly anybody spitting as much vulnerable and real shit on the internet. Now, how many of us are vulnerable and real with ourselves? Not many. So this is why it's a good place to start. You don't have to share it. Do it in private. Whatever, but start documenting to some capacity. Because photo albums have changed. Now we've got the internet and Instagram and all this shit. But like, look at MySpace. For a while, we uploaded everything onto MySpace. Now you're like, I don't know my password or my username. I don't even know what my email was. And now it's like impossible to fucking get back into those. Like, and if you're really older, then you remember like Apartment 107, Zanga, Angel Fire, Asian Avenue, Black Planet, all of those things. Like, you're probably laughing your ass off if you haven't thought of that in a long time. But anyway, what I'm saying is like, with a podcast or video recordings or something, like you can go back and view these things and it doesn't have to be perfect. And actually, the less perfect it is, the better it is. Because it's like when I watch that original Joe Rogan podcast and then I see what he's doing now, I'm like, wow, like you didn't even know this was possible. You know what I mean? And it's like when the person who's succeeding didn't know it was possible, but they were just doing it just to do it. It's dope. That's why I don't care if there's mistakes. That's why we don't edit. This is not polished to like, sometimes it might seem like it. And it's like, yes, there is a certain level of on purposeness and preparedness and practice and dedication to this, which a lot of you guys won't ever see because this is me practicing and analyzing in my own space and world and time. But that's happening. So it's like, yes, this podcast is very loosey-goosey, and at the same time, it's very purposeful. And it's almost like masterfully done that way, if I do say so myself. So that's the thing, is that's why I have a minimum of a 10-year dedication to this. You guys are going to at least get 10 seasons out of me. And, you know, we're coming up on season 3 and it's like, who knows? I don't fucking know. Whatever, dude. Like, I'm open for whatever. Well, I shouldn't say that. I am open for success with this show. At the same time, you know, it's like this show is going to go places that I have no idea. And it's going to turn in and transform and mold into something that I have no idea. And this is going to be a big deal to certain people at some point. I just know this. I don't know who. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know what demographic of people. I don't know the money attached to it. I don't know the sponsorship attached to it. I don't know any of that. I just know when you create something and you do what you love to the fullest, people will pick up on it, and then people want a piece of it. And after a while, when you do what you love to the fullest, people just start fucking paying you. They just will. They'll just start paying you. You know what I'm saying? If you love fucking working with kids and whatever, do something that has anything to do with working with kids or helping kids, and people will start paying you. I started teaching babies for free, And eventually people started paying me. I started teaching surf lessons for free, and I started doing it so much that people were like, hey, I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, fuck yeah, let's go. And people start paying for it. So I'm like, dude, when you do what you love to the fullest, people will pay you. They'll just start paying you. I haven't got to that point yet on this. I have gotten $5 from somebody who actually I don't even think listens to the show. They listened to one episode. They were hyped to see, I don't know if he listens, Danny, what up, homie? Like, but he was excited to see Rylan on the show. And I was like, yo, like, hell yeah, dude. Like, all right, fuck yeah. And he gave me a tip. He cash apped me some like $5. And that's the only money I've ever made off this show. I got cash apped $5 and I fucking kept that $5. It's sitting on my desk. I cashed it out. And I have that $5 that represents podcasting to me. It just sits in my shelf. Because I'm like, dude, I believe this. Somebody will start paying for me. Like one day this $5 is going to be 5 million. You know, I don't know why or how or what means. And I don't even have any plans for that. But it'll happen. It can happen. It will happen. Anything is possible. So I know that putting in the hard work and documenting will pay off. I don't know why. Sometimes you just got to do shit for no reason other than you believe in it.
Damn, dude.
Straight up and down Chinatown. So last thing I want to say, I want to squeeze, man, I wanted to talk on this longer, but I also realized I didn't know what I wanted to say about it. And what I just said was probably needed to be said. But this ties back into fucking having a good ass woman. And I just want to say, shout out to a very special Flamingo in my life that I'm really learning so much. Like, so I was going through it, dude, going through hell the past couple of days. And at the same time, maintaining a healthy perspective on my going through hell. But there was like, we were talking and she's just listening to me. And listening from a place of not trying to fix and not trying to like forcefully understand or figure out the problem or provide me with a solution, but more so she was listening to, man, I don't even know. It's like there was no sense of fixing. And I'm telling you guys, ladies, to your men, if he's going through something, do not try and figure out what the answer is. Please just allow it to be. Yeah, but that's the worst. The moment, if I'm sharing something vulnerable, why don't you try this? It's over. I'm not going to share. It's like, I can't share anymore. My fucking feelings shut off. And it's like, it's so easy. And I see so many women do this where like, they're listening from this, like, well, I have you figured out. So this is the answer. And it's like, we always know somebody else's bullshit before we know ours. But it's not up to us to point it out, or it's not up to your partner to point it out. It's up to your partner to help guide you to find the answer for yourself.
Damn, dude.
And when I was able to be guided to discovering the answer for myself and recontextualizing and just looking at it from different angles rather than like, let's make it go away, is everything. Everything. So it's like, I'm so grateful to have that safe space to be able to say, man, and this and that. And like something that she had told me, which was beautiful to me, is like, I understand that I will never figure you out. And I'm at peace knowing that. And that's exciting. Because it's like you stay this exciting new person because I'll never figure you out. Like I never can predict what you're going to say or like what you're going to do next. And that's because I don't know what I'm going to say or do next. You know what I'm saying? Like I could very easily just start fucking acting a fool or just turn very serious and get very deep about something. Like I don't even know. And if I don't know, how are you going to know? So it's like it's like for her to be able to let me be me and not be figured out, but allow me to remain my own mysterious person. I'm not like, ooh, mysterious, but it's like in a daily life, there's not a single person. There's not a single person who can predict what I'm going to say or do next. You'll never know. It's like every morning I wake up, I just start singing different things or saying weird shit or like, you'll never know. And that's what's beautiful is like, She understands that there's nothing to be figured out because I'm never trying to figure myself out. I'm secure knowing that I am an open-ended learning force that moves forward continuously always. And whatever's in my scope of learning right then and there, that's what I'm going to learn and take on. So I just want to say I'm so thankful. And men and ladies, actually, if you're just a partner, dude, don't figure it out. Don't figure out the solution. Don't figure out the answers. Even though if you know it, just hold on to it. Just lead them to it. You know what I'm saying? It's the you can teach a man to fish example. You can fucking feed him and give him the fish, or you can teach him to fish. And there's a difference between, well, I need another fish versus like, all right, I know what to do now. And there's a big motherfucking difference. I tell you what. So I'm so thankful that Little Mingo, I'm very, 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 very grateful for you. I'm so appreciative. Thank you for allowing me to be me and have the space to fucking sort through shit the way that I do. And for you to be such an addition and such a solid guide rail for me rather than like this, like, go down the road. You're like, no, like, here's, I'll guide you through this. Let's go. Let's help. And it's like with the understanding of I don't need to figure it out. I don't need to solve this. No. Just being there, being open, being present. That's the most valuable thing, is when you can have somebody who really is listening for the gold in what you're saying and they can help fucking guide you to that. That is the best. The more we can do that, the better off we're all going to be. You dig? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Please be sure. Here for days, 30 years. Touch your face. Not the last one's pierced too. And it's gonna be me and you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
As I was saying, be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell your best friends, cousins, uncles, pig farming, microphone sculpting, iron welding, our ornamental iron welders, best friends, hawk trainer about the Damn Dude podcast. You dig?
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
All those internet words that people say, like, subscribe, all that shit. We're pretty much everywhere. We got to get these videos up on YouTube. I need to get some internet. Once I get my new pad, I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that. Editing videos and just uploading, set a schedule so you guys can have all these all on YouTube as well. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful motherfucking day. Make it the best life that you can. Fuck some New Year's resolutions. Just become a better person. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.